I thought it'd be a great idea, given the work that we've been doing together and some of the things that are going on at Saint-Gobain, that we could share some of that information with some of the viewers that this will go out to. I think a good place to start would be probably introductions. So I can start there. My name's Sonny. I work for Robert Half Talent Solutions, and I look after the data and BI practice for the whole of the UK outside of London.
Yeah, I'm Dan Kilsby, so I'm the Director of Data at Saint-Gobain UK, and look after everything from the master data management to the data science teams and all the fun bits in the middle, including data governance. And over to Karen.
And I am Karen Shannon. I am Head of Data Governance, looking after all of our data governance practices and delivering that strategy within Saint-Gobain UK. Charlotte?
I'm Charlotte Farmer. I'm a projects coordinator within the digital data department.
Thank you all. So I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about some of the things that we've been doing together, but also I thought it'd be great for our audience to actually see what you guys are doing in the data space at the minute. So I've devised some questions that I want to throw to you guys, and actually we're just really interested to know from your standpoint, what have you been doing, some of the key challenges. We can touch on the collaboration that we've had together within Robert Half and Saint-Gobain. And also maybe something about the future of what you're trying to deliver. So our first question actually is what are Saint-Gobain doing in the data space at the moment? Probably one for you, Dan.
Yeah, cheers, Sonny. So the answer to the question is a lot, and I don't want to fill this with everything we're doing, but over the last, I guess, 5 years plus, we've been trying to put data at the heart of our business, and particularly in the last 4 years. Saint-Gobain's been on a digital transformation journey. We've invested in a raft of new talent, new systems, new technology, new ideas, concepts, all the way through the organisation. And our CEO's kind of mantra for all of this is that data is the lifeblood of digitisation, and you can't do any of it without good, clean, quality, single source data, easily available, readily available, well governed in the hands of the people. So that's part of this. And we've also been pulling together a range of different data silos across the organisation, but at the same time respecting the fact that we have to be quite open that we didn't have the right talent, people, in experts in this space. So we've had to. Saint-Gobain are all about training up and developing and career progression, and we've done a lot of that. A lot of our heads of these departments and people have flowed through and gone through quite a good career journey, including Karen, who's been with Saint-Gobain. How many years, Karen?
20 this year.
Yeah, so
Wow.
Karen's been here 20 years in a raft of different roles, which is great. But we've also had to recognise that we need to bring in external talent, new ideas, new concepts. People have done some of this transformational stuff in other companies before, but it's a whole new world out there. So I guess what we've been doing is building a team, designing a vision, designing a strategy, cleaning our data, trying to get to that golden goose of the single version of the truth across our landscape in the hands of the people, so that we can make these data-driven decisions. And then our data science team that we're investing really heavily in can take the data and not spend their days wrangling it into fit shape, can take good quality, accurate data and then add the value to it.
Mm-hmm.
And quite literally add millions of pounds to Saint-Gobain's bottom line, incremental profit, by the work we do as a data function.
That's phenomenal. So given all that, and you've been on this journey for some time, what challenges are you facing?
Well, I'm gonna switch this one a little bit over to Karen, because we've got lots of challenges, but one of our biggest ones, and I had a chat with someone earlier today about this same topic, is around the data quality, and getting the trust in the data, because the company can't make data-driven decisions unless they trust the data that's in front of them, right?
Yeah.
And until you get that trust, and this company's been around over 350 years, we've got a raft of challenges in this space, but we've got to re-educate people and get them trusting their data again, so they can make those decisions. So I guess Karen's probably the best to cover some of the challenges we face in that space.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Dan. I would say it's without a doubt the data quality and the trust that people have in it is definitely our biggest challenge. And although the ownership of that data and the responsibility for keeping the quality of that data high actually belongs within our business and not within my team. We've actually taken it upon ourselves to do a sort of initial piece to help to get that quality to a good degree before we hand it back to the business for kind of caretaking the quality thereafter. So definitely around in that arena, one of my key challenges has been the sheer time that the recruitment process takes. And I have to say that the collaboration that we've had with Robert Half has been excellent in that. Sonny's had a clear view of our requirements, the skills needed by our candidates, and has saved me hours of searching to identify suitable candidates. The team building, I think, is something it is very important to us as a business, and the diversity and inclusion has just come naturally, it seems, within this process, because Sonny has known every member of our team and actually worked with them to build an excellent team. So I think that point of view is just been ideal for us.
Yeah, I just want to go into that a little bit more, Karen, because at times over the last, I don't know, let's say 12 months, when we've been running a particular cleanse project, and we've had up to 12 temporary staff coming in at any one time, needing to ramp up and down, I guess, Charlotte, from as low as 2 and as high as
10 and 12.
10 or 12. And, you know, if you imagine a normal process to recruit a candidate, you might see, you know, if you've got a good recruiter, two or three candidates and find one. If you extrapolate that over 12, you know, that's 36 people to see. We don't have the time to see 36 people. But in fact, we don't really have the time to see 12, but we make the time because we have to, right? So I guess Karen, you know, I gave Karen this project, but I was worried that I was going to burden her and live her life in interviews, and obviously Charlotte then supporting the project. I don't know, you guys, in terms of the numbers you have and the kind of success rate you've had in terms of how many, you know, if you needed 12 people, how many have you seen to get those 12? You know, what's the hit rate like?
Yes.
I think, sorry, Charlotte.
So in the last round of candidates that we onboarded, we saw, I think it was 6 and we took on 5. So that in itself demonstrates that we're getting really strong candidates through Robert Half, and particularly with Sonny. We're getting those vetted questions answered up front, which is saving us so much time and effort in terms of interviews and getting to know what skill sets we're receiving from the candidates. It's been really great uptake in terms of that.
And Sonny, how are you doing that? Because 5 out of 6 is obviously a good hit rate. So what kind of activities are you doing that does that to help us?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, but you're absolutely right, Dan. Typically, we try and produce shortlists to give you a range of candidates to meet. I think on the permanent side, we probably still prefer to do that, even though in the back of my mind, the requirement session that we have together is so thorough that, you know, I have when I go out and reach out to candidates, you almost have that feeling when you know someone's right for your business. But equally, I want the idea of the range is to give you choice. Obviously, in such a candidate-driven market currently, I suppose the size of those shortlists can change depending on the niche and complexity of the role. Because this was a project that demanded interim support, and it was something that we needed to do fast and efficient, but with speed. The idea was that we the session that I had with you guys in terms of the skills that you were looking for was really important. So in terms of finding out and establishing your individual needs for that particular project, gave me everything I needed. It's all about doing that properly. So then when I'm going out to candidates, and not just finding candidates, literally doing the first round of interviews myself. So although we've got a really high success rate, I would have met, you know, I couldn't give you a number, but certainly on the last 6, I would have met over 30 candidates to get to the 6, and actually spoken to even more than that, because not everyone gets to that stage because it might not be relevant or they might not be available, and there's lots of different variables that we've got to consider. So there's a lot of groundwork that goes in prior to you seeing them, and that's, you know, I'm in the business of finding the right people, but also protecting your time, and it's worked. I mean, it's worked really well with this project, as you've testified to, which is great. Charlotte, I've got a question for you actually, because what will be really powerful is that you've actually been a candidate of mine as well. Like the job that you have now at Saint-Gobain was through myself, so it'd be good to hear. I mean, I can talk till the cows come home about how fantastic I think my service is, but it'd be great if you can share your experience when you worked with me as a candidate.
So yeah, I've seen both sides of it. So I was recruited by Sunny. Well, I was approached by Sunny back in April last year for this particular role that I'm taking on now. And yeah, having that side of experience, you ask the right questions that appeal to me as a candidate as well as appeal to my potential employer. In terms, yeah, very thorough in that respect. And you kind of set the expectations from both sides of it, which is really great for both candidate and employer. So yeah, having gone through that journey with yourself on that side of things, I appreciate all of that hard work that you've put in with the candidates that we've had for this particular project, because it shows in the quality of candidates that we had for this, and the time saving aspect has been, yeah, priceless.
So I think what I'm hearing is that recruitment is definitely a two-way street. We all know that, and if you put a good hour, let's not specify a time, but you put some time up front, specifying exactly what you need, the type of people that can save you hours in the long run. But I guess also some of the knowledge about our needs and our team and our culture and our fit and our company comes with relationship building, right? And myself and Sunny have worked in together in Saint-Gobain for over 7 years. He quite often will call me, even when we don't have a job, and say, I found someone who's Saint-Gobain material. And it's always worth a look, because Saint-Gobain, obviously not a lot of people know the name Saint-Gobain. There's various reasons for that, but for those listening that want to know a little bit more, I'm sure you can hit a well-known search engine and type the name in, and you'll soon be surprised at how widespread they are across the world, and be really surprised about some of the stuff they're in. Just as a heads up, from everything from life science research to planning and working with SpaceX on space exploration to selling bricks and mortar in Coventry. So there is a wide range, and quite an exciting company. But just coming back to the candidates that we had, and Saint-Gobain being an exciting place to work, we've recruited quite a few out of this temporary team, haven't we? Karen, Charlotte, I guess I'll point it to one of you. Karen?
Yeah, in fact, I was going to make that point as well, that the actual team building has been so good, the candidate selection so good, that we have taken 3 of that temporary team onto our permanent data governance team, and that there have also been a further 2 candidates recruited by other departments within Saint-Gobain on our recommendation. So I think within the candidates that have gone through our doors, that it's a pretty good result, and it says a lot for your ability to select, as Dan says, that Saint-Gobain, just the right candidates that are kind of a good fit for our team and have all of the sort of work ethics, etc., that we generally are looking for.
It says a lot about Saint-Gobain as well, in that if we find good people, we will find homes for them. We've got enough opportunities across the piece. We're a large organisation. And if we find good people, we don't make roles out of thin air, but we make room for the right people, and we might put them here to learn and develop, and then move them into their chosen area. But we're really forward thinking in terms of recruiting good talent in this space.
That's certainly been the feedback from the candidates as well. It's great, and it's actually because of the experience we've had working together for a decent amount of time. It's an easy conversation up front. We don't set expectations that there's definitive roles that they'll be able to go into, but just the prospect of being able to network internally within Saint-Gobain. And obviously you guys endorse it as well, which is great. The team aren't siloed. There's a lot of encouragement there for people to go out and get to know people, and it gives them opportunity. And we've now heard that some of those people have been successful and landed roles in areas of their choice. We've created careers, from probably the underrepresented candidates in the market as well. If we think about it, it's really quite powerful. So I'm glad we've been able to bring this out on this call, because it's going to go out to a wide audience. I have another question. Probably one of the final things I want to touch on. The audience that will probably see. I've got a lot of people on my LinkedIn that are either MDs, directors of companies, or their respective areas. Certainly a lot of data people that are within this space, either working in this space, consulting in this space, or want to get into this space. and depend on who they share with, the likeliness is that a lot more people will see this. And I think it's a great opportunity to tell people what the future holds for Saint-Gobain. What are you planning to do next? You know, I suppose a question for you to start with, Dan, maybe.
Couldn't possibly give you away all our secrets into the public domain, of course, but you know, digital transformation is not finished in Saint-Gobain. We are rapidly catching, if not matching, the market now, and now we want to push past them, and we want to have it as a true differentiator in the market. And some of the services we've got planned, and again, I won't go into the details. The services, tools, technologies we've got planned over the next 1 to 3 years will position us, we truly believe, as a differentiator in this space to our customers, and customers at the heart of everything we're building. But as I keep touching on, data is the lifeblood of that, right? So I guess the future, you know, if you ask what some of the data priorities are in the next year, we need to continue with cleansing our data and getting well-governed data and building trust, and look at data stewardship across the organisation, and, you know, representing and making people believe in what they're seeing. We need to start rolling out wider tools to get that data into the hands of the right people at the right time. And we've got to continue to leverage our data science investment, and add value to the bottom line, true value. And as I say, the projects that are being run in our team, you know, are adding millions of pounds of incremental revenue and profit to the organisation, and we need to continue doing that. And I've set aggressive targets to our head of data science, and we hit them every year, and we'll continue to do so. So I guess the future holds more of the same, more pushing forward, more investment, and eventually a market leading position to our customers, not just in digital and transformational activities, but also in the data space. And maybe in the next couple of months, if we get together again, I might share some details about a new tech startup that Saint-Gobain sponsored, that's data based, that I'm leading, to monetize our data investments as well to external parties outside of Saint-Gobain, which is really exciting. A whole new market for Saint-Gobain, and a whole new set of opportunities and revenue lines, which ultimately is what we're here to do: make the company more money, but also tie it into one final bit. I know I'm talking a lot, so I'll let the others answer.
No, this is good. This is good stuff. But
Saint-Gobain's actual, you know, motto, company line is to make the world a better home. And it's not just a strap line, which is why I was hesitant to say it. It's not just something we say. They truly believe in it. In fact, you know, some of our key KPIs that we're, you know, bonus targeted, whatever you want to look at, market indicating reports, is all around sustainability. And we've got to take that seriously. And Saint-Gobain has the platform and scope, because we do everything from manufacturing to mining raw materials to producing, you know, entire supply chains across, you know, multiple countries globally. We produce a lot of carbon and other emissions that we shouldn't do, or that we need to look at. And data is actually the start of sorting that problem, because you almost can't fix a problem until you know how big it is. Mm-hmm. And we need to spend some time understanding what our embedded carbon is in each product we sell, all the way through the supply chain, not just in the product itself, but, you know, what does that mean when we move it from A to B to C to D to E, all the way to the end customer? There could be 10 steps. Mm-hmm. And each step is adding to that. And how can we do that? Because how can we say we want to make a world a better home when some of the core of our business, you know, in terms of manufacturing glass in molten hot machinery, goes against that? And you know, there's different ways of manufacturing that we need to look at, but all of it starts with understanding what is our footprint. We talk about wanting to reduce it, but you can't reduce until you know what it is. Yeah. So we've really got to understand, we've really got to push forward in the data space and get into the detail of what we're doing, and then you can highlight your big wins. You know, we're not going to sort it overnight. You know, the government's got ambitious plans for carbon neutrality all around it, like 5 year, 10 year, 20 years out, and we'll have the same, but we're not going to fix it overnight. But, you know, if we can find those 1, 2, 3 X amount of areas that produce the biggest areas that we can go after, the quick wins, and we can improve them in year even, then that's really exciting. But we've got to give that ammo in the hands of the right people so they can do that. And then obviously then we can make the world a better home. But it's not just for doing it, and it's not just for saying it's taken. It's not just for revenue and profits. It's also what our customer wants, and customers at the heart. And our industry, despite being behind in some areas, is one of the furthest ahead in this. Our customers are already asking us every day for this data. What products, what's the impact of these products, etc. So we're going to have to transform that, and that's where we're going to have to focus our effort.
Yeah, no, it's a really powerful message. I think we have a very similar way of working, where money, yes, it's an important thing, and every company's out there to try and generate money for whatever reason, whether it's profit for purpose or what have you. But for me, I've always said this, but it should almost be the consequence of all the good work you do as opposed to the driver. Because if you do everything right by your customers, your employees, and everyone else involved in that business, and obviously with the best in the world, we always want to try and do that. That the money's a consequence of that, because if you're doing the right things, that will almost look after itself. And I think proof's in the pudding with some of the projects and things that you've talked about, particularly on the data science side. You're breaking numbers, but yet you're continuously doing the right work to get there. So it's a really powerful message, and I really appreciate that. Hey, look, I'm really, really, really grateful for your time. I know everyone's so time poor at the minute with loads going on, but it's been really powerful. I suppose for the audience that get to watch this and those who do view this, I want people to engage this video and comment and like and share with people they think will be of interested. And let us know what else you want to hear about, because Dan, I think I echo what you said. It'd be great to follow up with something and understand what the audience also want to know about. So our next session could be tailor-made to around what people outside of Saint-Gobain want to know, and how we can support and help from Robert Half and from Saint-Gobain. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So